The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and to that my name is in the same breath as the word is so sick, twisted, and insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stomping viewers, welcome to a brand new YouTube video. I hope you're having a good day because I certainly am. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the most recent Faze Temper accusations and all the stuff going on with Faze. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps with the channel, especially if you do enjoy the content. But without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand. This situation with Faze Temper kind of kicked off when Faze Rain hopped on a stream and started airing a bunch of things out, including this situation.
Over by my homies, you know, that I threw, this is the craziest part, bro. I threw myself under the bus instead of them. I swear to God, I put myself under the bus instead of them. I wasn't even pushed out. I left. There's a pedophile involved too, bro. I don't give a fuck if I get sued. I could give a fuck less. I always stand up for what's right. That was the final straw, bro. That was the final straw. I've been up over that pedo shit for like 2 years, bro. But I haven't said nothing about it. I haven't said shit. I haven't said shit because somebody I grew up with, somebody I always loved.
That is a huge claim to make. On top of the fact that there's also that accusation, the fact that nobody in Faze who knew actually spoke up or said anything about it, including Faze Rain himself until this moment. This clip started going viral, so the next stream, Faze Rain went into more depth and detail about the situation.
This dude looks me in my eyes and says, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I had a threesome with two 16-year-olds. I'm like, bro, what? Like, how could you tell me that? After I'm telling you the 3 rules I have to why I'll never have your back as a friend. On my mother's heartbeat. That's what he said. He looked me in the eyes and he said that. I told Banks and I told Apex immediately.
Of course, if it isn't clear from the title, the intro, me literally saying it earlier, but these accusations and this whole situation revolves around Faze Temper. So just keep that in mind when going forward.
And he dropped me off home and we haven't talked since. That's why you guys were like, bro, why don't you play CS with him? Why don't you play this with him? I don't want to say it, bro. I feel fucking bad. I feel bad. I know it's wrong. I know what he did is wrong, but I just hope people can understand like what it's like to have somebody you've known for half your life that you love, that you hope that your kids would have been friends and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It made me sad, bro.
This is something that all Faze members that knew about this are getting a bit of backlash for, is the fact that they're only saying stuff now, and especially Faze Rain and Faze Banks, they're only coming out about it now.
Yo, chat, how long was that ago? Like, why these guys know about this shit and they like it's just coming out now somehow? Like, it'd be just fucking not like. And why do that on stream anyway? It's just odd.
But on Rain's stream, after he said this
dude looks me in my eyes and says, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I had a threesome with two 16-year-olds. I'm like,
Faze Rain then adds this layer to the story that Temper then changed all this up and said this.
And when we got in the call, Tommy said this verbatim. He said, it wasn't a threesome with two 16-year-olds. Actually, it was a 17-year-old. So all of a sudden now it's 17. Okay. One was 17 and the other one watched. That's what he said. And then he started bringing up all these random laws. I don't even know these weird consent laws, like Romeo and Juliet, this, yada. I don't know. I don't know what these laws are, bro. And he says some shit like that. And even Banks calls me after and he's like, bro, what the fuck is like up with that law shit that he brought up?
So according to Rain, Temper himself stated that he had a threesome with two 16-year-olds and then changed the story to say it was actually with one 17-year-old and then another was watching. According to Rain, he did tell people in Faze and make reports about this in Faze Clan.
Yeah, I did. I brought it up internally where it matters. You know what I mean? Like the public, of course, I feel like should know, but I felt horrible. How many times I had to say it? He has a kid and a wife. I felt fucking horrible. Why now? Because I woke up a couple days ago and I had a epiphany about it, bro. I was like, why did I not say anything? Why am I living with this guilt and feeling bad? But I feel bad for both sides. I feel bad for what happened to those girls and the situation that happened. But then I also feel bad for, I don't want to ruin this dude's life.
This is something that Faze Rain has been repeating consistently for the past several streams, is that, look, he feels bad about coming out. He doesn't want to ruin Faze Temper's life. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He feels guilty about that, but he also felt guilty about, you know, knowing about this situation and not saying anything about it. Whilst all of that was going on, Faze Banks then came out with a long video of his own to make a statement regarding the situation.
You're saying that Faze Temper is a pedophile, which that is who he's talking about in the clip. And there's a story and we're going to get into it. I'm like, whoa, that's Tommy. That's our brother. This is who we started this Faze shit with. I'm calling him. That was the first thing I said. I'm calling him and I'm calling Apex because apparently this is something Apex is aware of as well. Norden and Tommy or Norden and Apex are the closest on the team. So obviously if Norden's going to talk to anybody about anything and be transparent, it's Apex. So I patched Tommy and Apex in the call immediately and we sit on this phone call and we talk for a long time. We were on the phone probably for at least an hour, maybe even fucking 2 hours on the phone talking about this. And Tommy's first initial knee-jerk reaction to all this shit was, what the fuck are you talking about? Norton, no, this is not what the conversation was like. You're misremembering, you're misinterpreting. Obviously, Rain is coming back, standing firm on the fact that no, you did say this.
Of course, what's being stated here is Faze Banks and several other Faze members had a conversation about this with Temperrr, with Rain, and actually spoke about this. And this is made apparent that this was quite a while ago, and that the conversation between Temperrr and Rain was even before that. So lots of people are genuinely curious why Rain decided to come about this now, outside of, you know, the epiphany.
So this conversation I'm describing to you guys is a phone call from a year ago, but Tommy and Faze Rain had a conversation between themselves years ago. I might be misremembering it, but I think it was 3-4 years ago they talked about this, and that's how long these guys have been sitting on that for.
It should be noted, by the way, that I haven't played Banks' full response. It is a lot longer than this, but when this was released, Rain started taking shots back and responding to Banks.
You lied in that video. You're making shit up. Bro, even that tweet that you posted under, I screenshotted in case you deleted it because I just don't trust you, bro. And I don't trust what you said there. You said some bullshit at the end of that tweet. What'd you say? You said, here, I'll split it up here. Like, you said, call concluded and Tommy didn't admit to it. Yes, he did. And you called me and you said, bro, this is so bad. This is so he said he's gonna kill himself if this shit ever comes out. And that's why I feel extra bad, bro. That's why I feel extra bad. You told me he would kill himself if it came out. And you guilted me into not doing it. You guilted me into not saying it because you're like, if he kills himself, that's gonna be on you.
Here, Rain is making it out like he was put in a position where he couldn't say anything. This threat was made and he didn't want to say anything just out of fear of that. I think most people would agree that is a tricky situation to maneuver in and not try and step on anybody's toes. After the continuous backwards and forwards, Rain and Banks got on a call on stream.
He said it was a threesome with a 16-year-old when it was a single with a 17 and one was watching. God knows why he lied and said it was a threesome. God knows why. Especially when I'm telling him how demonic and evil that shit is and how I'll never have your back. That's what he said. It's what he fucking said. Okay? So then he goes in the call that we had after with me, you, Apex, Tommy, and he said it was a 17-year-old. He admitted it, bro. He did. And then he said, if this shit ever comes out, bro, I have a kid now, I have a wife, I'll myself. And you called me after, you're like, bro, he's never talked like that. Please don't do it, bro. I don't want him to fuck himself.
I do remember that, by the way.
That's and again, bro, nobody, like, I get people are on your fucking dick, but they're wrong for that too, brother. There is absolutely zero proof on this man. He never told me anything of him doing any shit like that. We're talking about Tommy here.
So here, Banks does confirm that this is something that did happen. This conversation did take place where Faze Temper did threaten to do that to himself, and then followed up by Banks saying, please don't do this. I don't want him to do this to himself.
Have you spoken to Tommy?
I haven't talked to him since we talked about that. I don't even think a singular text.
I low-key think you should, bro. I think you should. I think he
What
should.
are we gonna talk about, bro? What are we gonna talk about?
I don't know. This brother, he has a kid. Like, CPS is a real thing.
We haven't talked since November 2023.
This isn't gonna
almost
just
2
end
years
here,
since I've talked to him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't converse. Like, because that shit fucked me up, bro. And I can't talk to somebody like that again. You do anything, bro. Like, I can try to find a reason to justify it, but those three things that I described, there's just no justifying it, bro. Wrong.
No, I honestly don't know what the conversation would even be about here. I don't know why Rain and Temperrr would have a conversation now, because ultimately, whilst Rain was the one that publicized it and was one of the key members to know about this behind the scenes, ultimately the accusations and claims against Temperrr and what Rain is saying that Temperrr stated himself isn't actually about Rain. It's something that Temperrr did himself. Ultimately as well, you're never going to get anywhere with a call between Rain and Temperrr. The best bet here is for Temperrr to say something himself. Something, of course, he did do, but we'll get to that soon. After all of that, Rain then made a tweet stating this: I feel horrible, man. I wish it never happened. I'm sorry I didn't speak out sooner, but I hope you can understand that it's hard. Love this guy. I was a huge fan of him growing up. I didn't know what to do. Part of the reason I left Faze was because of it. I couldn't be side by side with someone who did something like that. I wanted to speak, but I just felt so fucking bad, and eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. Love you whether you understand me or not. Now we're getting to the real serious meat and potatoes of this video, because Faze Temper did then put out a 3-minute response.
The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and to that my name is in the same breath as the word pedophile is so sick, twisted, and insane. This is disgusting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that type of person. I am the furthest thing from what you called me.
Here, Temperrr is denying the label put against him, not the actual claim so far.
That's someone that I really built a brotherhood with, someone that I really considered a brother, that I invited to my baby shower, that I always looked after and took care. And then when you were going through your darkest days, I was there for you, and I was making sure that you were good. When you were in a wheelchair for 2 years, and like I was so gutted at the fact that like you couldn't walk again, and then all of a sudden you were able to walk again, and I was the happiest person in the room.
Look, Temper, I get it. You were his close friend. You were there for him every single day. You feel betrayed, but are you going to actually address the claims that Rain said that you stated yourself? Spoiler alert, for some fucking reason, no, not in this response.
You stated if you don't get paid that, you're gonna air this out. That is blackmail. This is not like, you know who I am. You know the type of person I am. I am not what you called me. I'm fucking gutted, bro, and I'm pissed that you even put my name in that light, because now, all I care about is my family, bro.
Now here, Temper's made an accusation of his own and said that Rain tried to blackmail him. And I'm a little confused why Temper didn't actually decide, though, in this response to actually address the claims themselves and what he apparently stated to Rain. Because denying the label that was put against him and then actually talking about the claims are two different things. Of course, Rain did end up responding to this on stream, and he actually clapped back at this claim that Temper made about him.
Banks and Apex. You stated if you don't get paid that, you're gonna air this out. That is blackmail.
When me, you, Banks, and Tommy were in a call about this shit, the last time we all were in a call, did I say give me money or I'm going to expose this?
No, I don't remember that.
So here, Rain has literally got somebody else who was in that call saying, no, that's not something that I remember you ever saying.
I did see it. No, I have no idea what he's referring to.
And I get it. I know you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You don't want to get involved in shit like that. And I'm sorry for fucking calling you on stream. I know you probably don't want to do that right now. I get it. But, brother, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, brother, I don't know what he's...
Citrus, my guy. I love you, bro.
I mean, this is probably one of the best ways Rain could have gone about this, which is actually calling up somebody who was in that call and asking, you know, do you actually remember this? Is this something that I ever stated? Rain did also respond to the fact that Temper didn't actually probably address the claims that were being stated against him and was just more focusing on trying to destroy Rain rather than actually address the claims. So in the midst of all this, Temper also did respond to an old tweet that's been resurfacing that's been kind of joked about and used to kind of bash him. He was 17. This is how we used to speak to each other on Xbox Live back then. Which, look, would be fair enough, but ultimately, Faze Temper was not 17 when he made this tweet. He ultimately lied, because if we actually calculate the difference between when this tweet was posted and when his birthday is, he would have actually been 18. By actively lying here, you've made yourself look 10 times worse. After all of that, Temper then did another response.
One day, I met Emma, and Emma was the love of my life. Like this, I fell in love with this girl, and I wanted to marry this girl, and I never had wanted to marry anybody before that. I never wanted to get married, and I was just blown away. So this is the girl that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, but because of all the baggage that I had, and all the shit that I went through, and just the person that I pushed her away. You know, she did not want to be with me, and she ended things, and that broke me and sent me into a dark place. Soon after that, I was just that lost soul again, going to parties, partying, and just being a fool. And then one day I go to New York, and I go to this club that's 21 plus.
What you're gonna see as we continue to go through this response is, yes, these things happen, but ultimately Temper's response now is that I was at a 21 plus bar. I didn't know. I thought they were 21 plus.
And I link up with a buddy there, and he invites a couple girls, and I end up going back with these girls. We're all shit-faced, and I end up going back with these girls to my hotel room. I slept with one of them, and I found out after that this girl was 17.
That's what Temperrr is saying. He went to a bar that's 21 plus and then ultimately ended up sleeping with this girl and then found out after that she was 17. Of course, this is a drastically different story to what Rain was saying and what Rain was saying that Temperrr stated and admitted to.
And that's the age of consent in New York. But regardless, I was sick to my stomach. It was just extremely uncomfortable knowing that. and thinking about the situation.
Here he's also saying that this was in New York, 17, age of consent, on top of the fact that this was a 21 plus bar and he had no idea until after. Of course, if that is the case, if he is telling the truth there, that would change the entire situation, obviously. But Rain has actually pushed back on what Temperrr said here.
When we had that call, he had 2 different times to say he didn't know. He didn't tell us. He didn't say it on the call. He didn't say it in the original part. So like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Then call him and ask. What do you mean we talked twice, you stupid bitch? We talked twice. He told it to me. He would have said it. I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Like, he would have said that shit, but he never said that. What the if he's telling me about it, obviously he fucking knew. Unless he told me I didn't know, then like, oh snap, you didn't know, fucking insane. Like, I would have, then he would have said it on the call with Apex and Tommy, or sorry, Apex and, I don't know why I keep fucking saying his name, I'm trying to say other people, but Apex and Banks, he would have said it. He would have said it again and be like, bro, but I didn't know.
After this, Rain then posted a video to Twitter saying that this is the last thing he's going to say on the whole Tommy situation as he clarified the details of the situation.
Something to say about the Tommy situation because he made a video confirming it, but the details did get switched a little bit because originally it was 2 16-year-olds and it was a 17-year-old and one was watching, and now a 17-year-old and he didn't know her age. If you didn't know her age and you said that to us at least once, we wouldn't be here, bro.
But that is everything in the Faze Temper situation up until this point. It's an absolute mess of a situation, and I'll be very interested to see what you, the viewer, has to say about this and what your thoughts are, especially after Temper's response and what Rain has said since. If you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing and hit the notification bell. It really helps with the channel, especially if you do enjoy the content. But I have been your host, Samuel, and I will catch you in the next Slop in Your video. Goodbye.